Welcome everybody, my name's Wendy Lehman. I'm a fashion stylist and personal shopper, and this is another in my series of videos, Fashion in the Time of Corona. I'm partway through a shoe edit. If this is your first visit to my channel, welcome. Please subscribe, like, share, all the usual stuff. And please look back at some of the previous videos where I've explained a little bit about why I'm doing this. I won't take time doing that today, but please, if this sounds all a bit frivolous because you've just come now, I would encourage you to look at some of my earlier videos where I spend a bit of time explaining my thought process. Okay, so partway through the shoe edit, I'm now talking about spring into summer shoes. Again, this is my Israeli wardrobe. I'm self-isolated in Israel, so my UK wardrobe looks different because obviously the season from spring to summer the weather is different in England. But I'm going to just concentrate on the footwear for Israel. I'll try to make it as relevant as I can to all of you wherever you are watching in the world. But as I say every time, please feel free to contact me, ask questions, send in your comments, photos, whatever. Please use me as a resource. I'd be really happy to help at this time. Okay, so spring into summer. High summer gets incredibly hot here. I'm going to deal with the high summer shoes separately, but these are the ones that work with summer clothes and are still a little bit heavier, I guess, than the stuff that's bearable through the high summer. So if you don't live in a very hot climate but you tend to go on holiday in hot places, these are the sort of shoes that I think you could think about taking for the evening in a hot country. Because they work perfectly well in sort of average European evening temperatures. But if you're coming somewhere like Israel, then this will be too hot in the summer, but would be okay for kind of May time during the day, and then in the evening, sort of June and July. Okay, so I've got a couple of pairs of shoes that are have got like laser cut holes. So there, if you can see those here. So this is a full shoe, but what lightens it slightly in terms of its look is the fact that it is white, obviously, and that it has this Hessian flat form at the bottom. So the beauty of that is that it has a much more summery look. So I do this with dresses. You can do this with pretty much any colour dress because it's very, very neutral. So I will do it with a black dress. I'll obviously do all of these with trousers because trousers is my go-to look. But I would do this with I have got a few dresses that I wear in the spring to summer which are either both knee length and longer dresses. This works with all of those, and the fact that I've got this Hessian means it doesn't feel like too hefty a shoe, and of course the fact that it's got these little laser cut holes in it also means that it gives a lighter look. I'm a vegetarian, and so I try not to buy leather. I tend not to buy leather. I tend to buy pleather or vegan leather as people call it now. And that's what these are. So they are a little, I have to be honest, they're a little bit hot on the foot. After a while, I certainly wouldn't spend a day walking around in these, but they're absolutely fine for a few hours at a time during the day, and certainly great in the evening. So something like this works really well. And I've got something very similar, which has got an open back, and again it's got the laser cut. Again, it's a good neutral colour, but it's got this much lighter base and the Hessian, all of which make it feel much more summery. It's not a high summer shoe. It's too hefty for high summer, but it's definitely fine in the spring to summer period and in the evenings during that period here. And this would be an okay summer shoe in the evening in England without any problem at all. Even in high summer in England, you'd be okay with this if you wanted to. So those are great. One of those, the white one is Steve Madden. This is Stradivarius. I like Stradivarius. Quite a lot of the Stradivarius stuff I think is quite funky and quite good. It's definitely worth checking out. It is a young shop, but you can definitely find stuff in there that works for more mature women. You just have to pick carefully. I've got the classic tennis shoe, which I love. I mean, I've chosen one again because I prefer to have a little bit of a rise. I've chosen one with a bit of a thick sole, so it gives me a kind of, I don't know, 1.5 centimetre rise, but this is equally good if it's completely flat. So that's just my personal choice. This works for absolutely everybody, everybody's style, personality. Everybody can wear something like this sort of sand shoe. If you don't like the lace-up look, there are plenty around that are just a slip-on, some which have a zip up the front if you want something that's got a little bit more edge to it, a little bit more drama. But everybody should have something like this in their wardrobe for spring into summer. It's great for summer evenings, even when it's really, really hot. This is Steve Madden. But you can actually find these in all the stores. It is completely timeless, completely classic, the only reason you'll have to change it is when they just get too worn out. There will always be something like this in the shops that you can have in your wardrobe and that work for summer clothes. Great with shift dresses, great with beach wear. I mean, really, absolutely great with jeans, great with cargo trousers, great with crop trousers, great with ankle grazers. Literally, this shoe would go with anything. And if you were travelling and you wanted to travel light and you needed to take just one pair of shoes, I'd say this is the pair to take. They're comfortable, you can walk for hours in them, and they'll go with everything. So a real must-have in your wardrobe. Any clothing personality should have something like this. And then we go into my slightly wackier ones, which is more about my style personality. So I completely adore these. Yes, they are metallic, and they work for me on so many levels that I just adore them. The fact that they're slightly squarer, everything about my style personality tends to be straight rather than curved. I always prefer things that are straighter rather than things that are curved. So even though I notice I'm wearing round earrings, so that's the exception that tests the rule. So I like these because they've got, even though they're not very pointed, they've got a really nice square toe. I love the fact that they're metallic, of course I do, and I like the fact that they've got this band of white and grey at the bottom, which again really lightens them. Imagine this if it had a very dark base, it would look like a much heftier shoe. The fact that it's metallic with this white base really does lighten it. Again, it's a hottish shoe, so it works in the spring here, and it works in the evenings, not in the highest of summer, but in the evenings either side of the highest point in summer. But in England, this would for sure work all the way through the summer in the evenings, unless we had a really, really, really hot spell. So safe to have in your wardrobe. You're bound to get quite a lot of wear from it if it's your type of shoe. The equivalent for somebody who wants to wear something much less chunky would probably again be something in the kind of family of moccasins, where the look is softer, where the look is slightly more feminine. This is again a bit of a masculine looking shoe. If you're not sure whether you've got something in your wardrobe that fulfills this function, then please send me a picture, let me have a look, tell me what you wear it with, and I'll give you some ideas about what might or might not work. And lastly, this, which I adore. This is one of the shoes that I absolutely love wearing through the spring and into the summer. I wear it in the day because I'm a sucker for sparkle, as you will probably know. And these are Disco Rosso. I really, really like the Disco Rosso shoes. I think they're great. There are a few stores here in Israel. I'm not sure how easy they are to get hold of in England, but probably online. Again, metallic, so we'll go with absolutely everything. A low heel, not entirely flat. I try not to wear anything that's completely flat. I don't actually find it that comfortable to walk in if it's completely flat, but just a little bit of a rise, just a tiny kitten heel like that is enough to lift the foot off the ground and make it more comfortable. These are incredibly comfortable to walk around in. Go with everything because again they're metallic and as a result metameric. Will kind of change colour depending on what you're wearing. Again, if this all feels a little bit too pointed, a little bit too dramatic for your clothing personality, an equivalent would be a ballet shoe, not a totally soft flat ballet shoe. I think I would be encouraging you to keep that more for high summer, but certainly the ballet shoes that have got just a little bit more of a structure to them would do the same job that this would do. Again, think about getting them in a good metallic, because that will go with everything. Fabulous with denim, fabulous with dresses, anything like that. So again, if you're not sure whether you've got a shoe that fulfills that function, send me a picture. Okay, I'm going to move into high summer, but I'll stop this video here and do another video in a couple of days on high summer shoes. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.